Hey, Tunji from Ceasar Graphics. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be working on this project that I've tagged Logo Beach. All right. So if you need the exercise file for this project, simply make use of the links on the description section of this video. So without any further ado, let's jump into today's tutorial. So I'm going to create a new document now, and I'm going to call this Logo Beach. So I'm gonna make my width 720 and my height is going to be 900 like so, and I'm going to make my resolution 100. Color mode is going to be RGB, and I'm going to leave every other settings the way they are. So I'm going to click on the create button. Alright, so I'm going to drag my background and drop now. So I'll make this bigger like so. Alright, and I'm going to drag in my logo. So I'm going to drag that and drop here. Now scale this real big like so. Okay, this is fine. And I'm going to hold down Control and click. Then I'm going to hide the layer of the logo. Then I'm going to go to my adjustment tab and select curve here. Then I'm going to drag my curve up. Alright, so what I'm trying to do now is to create the ocean effect around the beach. I'll drag this up to about this level, and I'm going to go to the property of the the curve, and I'm going to increase the feather like so. Alright, then I'm going to go back to the adjustment tab again and bring in curve. Let's use curve again. Alright, and this time I'm going to hold down Alt and make a copy of the layer mask of the curve and drop on the new curve that we just created. Alright, then this time I'm going to go to the curve setting and just drag this up like so, and I'll go back to the one below and go to the curve properties of that very first one again, and just increase the feather a little bit more like so. And for this, you can just reduce the feather a bit just like so. Alright, so but move this up like so, and this should be behind the logo layer, and I'm gonna make this visible. Alright, then the next thing I'm gonna do is to bring in the image of our sand. That's our beach sand. Okay, so I'm gonna position this here, and I'm gonna hold on Alt and click to put this inside the shape of my logo, and I'll make a copy of this again, and I'll select this and just drag this down to right about here. I'll make a copy again, and this should be in between this, and I'm going to drag this down. Okay, let's just move this below this, and we have this. All right, so the reason why I'm using this image is because of the texture, the sand texture on it. So I'm going to put this in a group, and I'm going to call this logo. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is to add a layer mask, and I'm going to soften the edges of my logo here. I'll select brush tool and go to the brush settings here and use soft round brush, and I'm going to make sure that my transfer option is checked. So I'm using the transfer option because I have a Graphix tablet, but if you don't have a Graphix tablet, you can simply turn down your flow to 5 and you're still going to achieve the same move. All right, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be able to control the strength of my brush. All right, so I'm going to just take this out from here like so. right, this is good. Then I'm going to just gently take this side out like so. So what I'm doing next now is to reduce the brightness of the background. Before I do that, I want attention to be on just this side of the logo. So I'm going to create a new layer and select the fill box here and just sample a color from this side of my project, and I'm going to select the brush tool, increase the size of my brush, and I'm just going to gently apply this here like so. Do the same thing here just like so, and I'm going to blend it this. All right, so I'm going to just move from here, just hold on alt and split the slider and just move this way and move this like so. So I'll move this out like so. Let this be here. Okay, so this is good. So we need to darken the background, and I'm going to just go to the adjustment tab again and select curve and just push this down like so. All right, now this is good. So I'm going to push this down a bit just like so. All right, this is good. You know what, let's just soften the edges of the beach a little bit more. Just adjust to that here. All right, this is good. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is, let's decide how. I'm going to create the wet sand effect down. So I'm going to go to the adjustment tab again and just click on the curve adjustment, and I'm going to click on this icon because I only want this to apply to just only the logo. So I'm going to drag this down like so, and I'm going to hit let's just make it more darker. Okay, so this should be, yeah, this is good. So I'm going to hit Control I on my keyboard to reverse my mask, and I'm going to switch to white because it's better I am on the opposite color of my mask. So then I'm going to just gently apply my brush like so. Now listen, when you're doing this, you need to be on the hard brush. All right, you need to be on the hard brush. So I'm going to scale my brush size down, and I'm just going to gently apply this like so. Do the same thing here. What we're doing now is to create the wave effect. So I'm going to create a new layer. Let's just call it splashes. So I'll put this and I'll group. I'll just put all of this in a group because I'm going to be creating a lot of layers. So I'll call this BG logo. So BG. Alright, then I'll switch from this color to white, and I'm gonna be on soft rough brush, and I'll turn off transfer and turn on shape dynamic. So on my shape dynamic, I'm going to be on the pen pressure because I'm using a Graphix tablet. But if you don't have a Graphix tablet, you can still make the same move. All right. So I'm just going to click right here. I'm gonna add layer mask to the splashes because I need to take out some part of the brush from the layer. So I'm going to switch to white. I'm gonna switch to black, and I'm just gonna gently take this out like so. Then I'll switch to white again, and I'll select the brush tool, and I'm just gonna gently, ouch, excuse me, I need to switch to white again, and I'm gonna just gently apply this here. So to the center here, like so. And I think this is good. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is to add the image of the people at the beach. So I'm just going to drag this and drop here like so, and I'm gonna convert this to a smart object and bring out the free transform and just scale this down. Just rotate this. Let this go down again and just position this here. So this should be somewhere here. Sorry, okay, so I did not remember to apply the splash here, so I'm going to select the layer and I am going to switch back to the brush tool, and I'm just going to gently apply that also here. So we'll go back here, and I am going to add a layer mask to this because we need to take out this water part from the layer. So I'm just going to gently, I'm going to switch to black, and I'm going to gently take this out like so. This here. Let's do the same thing here. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy of this. Just position this here. I'm going to rotate it and make a copy again. Just put this somewhere around here, and I'm gonna rotate it again. I'm just position this here like so. You know, I think we should just make the layers a little bit bigger. Alright, so yeah, so I'm gonna move this in, move this in, and move this here. Then we can just add one here like so. All right, then I'm gonna put them in a group, and I'll add a layer mask to this. You know what, I'm not supposed to add the splash layer, so I'm going to call this people and add a layer mask to it. Then I'm going to select my brush tool and just take out some of the, you know, stuff from the layer so as to make it look like we added different type of images. So alright, then I'm gonna add a next image, and I'm gonna change this to multiply, and I'll convert it to a smart object. So the reason why I'm always converting it to smart objects is because I still want to maintain the quality of the image, even if I, scale it down or increase the size. So I'm just gonna gently increase this a bit. So I'll make a copy again, and this should be somewhere around here. Alright, this is good. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add the trees. Alright, so I'm going to drag that and drop here. And I'm going to scale this down like so. Let's just start from here. Okay, I always like to start from here. So I'll position this here. Move this somewhere around here. Like so. Just like this here. Okay, the trees are too big, so I'm going to scale them down. So this should be here. Alright, so I'm gonna put everything here in a group, and I'll call this trees. Okay, and I'll hide this. So I need to add light shadow to the trees. Alright, so I'm going to make a copy of this, and I'll convert this to a smart object. So I'm going to hold on Control and click to make a marquee of the shapes of the shape of the trees. Alright, so I'm going to hide this, and I'll create a new layer, and this should be behind this, and I'm going to call this T shadow. Alright, then so my background is already on black, so I'm going to hold on Control and backspace to apply black to the layer. So I'm going to hit Control D to deselect, and I'm going to go to filter, blur, and I'll select Gaussian blur here, and I'm going to use soft, just small radius. So, and I'm going to bring out the free transform, and I'm just going to scale this down a bit, not too much, just a little, and I'm going to reduce the opacity of this. Okay, not reduce the opacity, something around 51 is fine. So there's something I notice here. The glow effect here is not balanced. It's looking too perfect, so we need to fix that. So let's see, this is it, or this one. Okay, it's this one. So I'm going to select the brush tool, increase the size of my brush, make sure I'm on the, so make sure you're on the soft round brush when you are doing this. All right, and I'm just going to select the transfer option here, make sure that your foreground is set to black, and I'm just going to gently take this out like so. Okay, so if I go to the property of the curve, I can even increase this just a bit. All right, and do the same thing with this and just increase this like so. All right, then we have this. Now this is beautiful. All right, so let's go to camera raw now and do the color grading. So I'm going to stamp visible of all the layer first, and I'll go to filter and I'll select camera raw filter here. All right, so we need to start with the basic. So under the basic, I'm going to just reduce the exposure a bit, and for the contrast, I'm just put that to be +6. And for the highlight, I'm going to increase the highlight because I really want attention to be on this side of the project. And for the shadow, I'm just going to dial that down so as to make some part of the project more darker. And for the texture, I'm just going to reduce the texture so as to reduce the noise on the project. Okay, so I am going to go down to um, the detail here. I'm going to add sharpen to this. All right, and under effect, I'll increase the grain like so, and I'm going to select the OK button. All right, I hope you learned something new from this tutorial. If you are able to achieve anything with the help of this tutorial, simply tag me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at Ceasar Graphix. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to ring the bell so you will be notified when I post my tutorials. Share, like, and comment on this video. I'll see you again in the next one. Peace.